Good morning, everyone. This is Leah Dixon from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, and I am coming live on a Sunday morning, which is really unusual for me, but I wanted to share some extra special stuff with you. On January 4th, so like 5 days ago, our mini catalog and celebration launched, and I wanted to be able to share some new products with you guys. So, I always have a little bit of trouble getting set up with my StreamYard and everything. It's a new program to me. So if there's any kind of like feedback on the video or like an echo, can you guys let me know so I can straighten things around with my sound? Otherwise, let's get started. Good morning, Gail. Actually, I'm just going to turn down the volume on this because I think that might cause some problems. I know it's distracting to me. There we go. All right. So I'm going to switch over my screen. There we go, to my desktop. And the stamp set that I'm going to be showing you today is the Island Vibes stamp set. Now, this is one of our stamp sets from our celebration catalog. And let's see, oh, did I actually not bring it down with me? Oh, that's too funny. I had all my stuff set up. And let's see, maybe I have it. There we go. I just have too many things out. All right, so we have our celebration catalog, and how this works is anytime you spend $60 out of either our new mini or our annual catalog, you get to choose free product out of our celebration catalog. So we've got a whole bunch of different stamp sets, some designer series paper, another really cute stamp set, two of them here, and then some more designer series paper, some more paper, and another cute stamp set. And then we get into kind of some higher end stuff where you get designer series paper and a stamp set together, and these ones are free with a $120 purchase. So there we go. And then another $120 purchase gets you the Special Moments stamp set, which has like a ton of sentiments in it. And then there's also a host set. So if you're hosting a party of 375 or more, so grabbing a few friends and putting a big order together, then you can earn that one for free. So over the next few Sundays, hey Heather, over the next few Sundays, I am going to pop through and kind of highlight one of these products each week. So this week I am playing around with this Island Vibes, and I have the cutest, quickest little card for you guys. And what's really cool about this one is the product that I use to make it will get you to your $60 to earn this stamp set for free. So what we have is we're going to start with a Coastal Cabana card base and a piece of basic white paper cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we're going to get started right away stamping straight onto this piece of white. So let's grab, I like to use my Stampin' Pierce mat because it provides like a firm foam backing, so I get a really good image. And I'm going to grab our little pineapple image that we have here, and I've got Bumblebee and Just Jade are my two inks, so the only two inks I'm going to use on the two cards that I make today. And so we're going to stamp the bottom of our pineapple in our Bumblebee, and then I'm going to grab my Just Jade and stamp the top. There we go. All right, and the first one that I'm going to stamp directly in the middle of this card. There we go. Now, I did have a little bit of extra ink there. That's okay because I'm going to end up covering that up with another pineapple. So no biggie. Oh, good morning, Jacqueline. So now I'm going to grab this again. I'm not even going to clean my stamp set or anything. And I'm going to come in again with my Bumblebee and again with my Just Jade at the top. And I'm going to stamp this one beside it and kind of just slightly on an angle. There we go. And we're going to do this, you guessed it, one more time. Here we go. So I'm using the end that's very close to where the label is on our ink pad, because I can see where the ink actually comes to, so I can line the pad up nicely and get the right inking happening. There we go. So we've got our 3 pineapples stamped across our card front. I'm going to set that to the side and just grab a scrap of white paper, and I'm going to stamp 2 more pineapples. So just grabbing another scrap here, and these ones, it doesn't really matter where I stamp them because I'm going to cut them out. Okay, so just pop it in here one more time and another time. So I hope you guys are having a great weekend. That snow yesterday was awesome. Love it. Love that it came on a weekend, not a weekday. All right. And this is our last one. So if you're not sure about doing this whole ink pad thing, you can ink this up with pens, like markers, and then stamp it. But I find that because the top of the pineapple is such a straight, clear line, it's quite easy to stamp it this way. Oh, hi, Maureen. So I'm going to just close up my inks so I don't drop anything in them. I am notorious for doing that. And I am going to fussy cut these. Now, these are actually not too bad for fussy cutting because I am going to leave a bit of a white border. It's not that much of a detailed process. And I'm going to show you a little trick. When I cut these, I actually am going to cut down into the point, and then I'm going to start over again on the other side and cut down into the point so that I have these little bits that come out. And I'm just going to grab my little garbage pail here, have right beside me so that I can just pop them straight in there. I also have left my Stampin' Pierce mat below me so that all my bits, if they fall, can just fall onto there, and then it's easy to pick up and tap it off into my recycling bin. So this is the easiest way to cut things that have all these little intricate bits, is just always do that inward cut and let the pieces fall. So as I do this, I'll just let you guys know about a few things. So if you didn't already know, oh, good morning, Shannon. Oh, Jacqueline, you have ice snow on your roof? Oh no. Hopefully it melts before it can slide off in a big chunk. That could be really dangerous. Yikes. Yeah, so if you don't already know, we have a new mini catalog out. It is filled with great springtime seasonal items. Some birthday stuff, Valentine's, Easter, baby, like you name it. For the springtime, it is there and gearing us up, getting us ready for spring, even though it still feels very much like winter around here. And so it's kind of a nice one to play with. I just ordered a few new very springy things and waiting for them to arrive. The tulips is one of them. I can't wait. So in the meantime, I thought I would show you guys all this new celebration stuff and get into a little bit of a tropical feel. 2 years ago, we were in Mexico, and so those photos keep popping up on my feed, and I'm like kind of missing it. When we had the really nice fluffy snow, I was fine, but now that we've got this icy stuff, kind of missing the sunshine. Okay. The other thing that we've got going on right now is that with that new catalog, it's tempting to say, oh my goodness, I want it all. And you can have it all. Well, maybe not all the stamp sets, but all the extras, all the embellishments, all the papers, all the ribbons, because I am offering a product share. And so it's a great way to get just a little bit of everything, or a little bit of just one thing. Like maybe it's just the designer series papers that, you know, you don't necessarily want a whole pack of each one, but you'd like a bit of it. I've got a designer series paper share where you get a quarter pack of the designer series paper. So it's kind of a nice way to get a little bit of everything. And if you go to my link tree that's in the description of this video, you can see the link right there to go to my product shares and check it out. And yeah, so that's going on. And then I also, this is kind of like a sneak peek to an event I have happening next week. I am going to be doing a full proper catalog launch next Saturday at 10. So that's January 15th. And we're going to be, it'll be run like kind of almost like a backwards card class. I'm going to do the card class, show you guys everything. And then if you love it, you can place an order and then you'll get the card kit to make all those cards. And you can come and watch the replay and everything and do them that way. You'll also get a little tutorial. So if you don't want to rewatch the videos, you just want to follow the written steps, you can do that. So that's going to happen next weekend. I will be putting it up as an event soon. Well, probably right after this video. And so that will be something that you can do as well. And the cost of that is free. And then if you want to get the card kit, you just place an order, and that's how you get access to the whole card kit and everything. All right, so I'm just about done this pineapple, and then we can move on with this card. This is the kind of the slowest part of this card, but it's fairly easy. There we go. So I'm going to put those to the side. Now, because I worked on top of this, I can just tap it all into my little bin, and we're good to go. All right. So, oh, the windmills and the gumballs. Yeah, Jacqueline, they're beautiful. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these on here with some dimensionals. So I'm not going to go crazy with my dimensionals. Just one at the top, one at the bottom will do. Top and bottom, top and bottom. There we go. And voila, that one's on. If you wanted to, you could just glue these down as well, but I like how it looks when you pop them up. Okay, and there we go. That little mistake we made with the ink got all covered up, so we're all good to go. Now I'm going to grab some linen thread, and I am just going to tie this here around my card, and I'm going to kind of just like put it right at the base of these pineapples, and I'm just going to loop it around twice and snip off my extra. There we go. Put that to the side, and then I'm going to tie a bow. So first of all, I'm going to put that underneath the two threads so it kind of pinches them together, and loop them around and tie a little knot. So now this isn't going to go anywhere on me. And I'm going to tie my bow. And I can fiddle with it and get it all how I want it. There we go. Trim up my ends. There. And now the last thing to do with this before we get some sentiments on here is just to fiddle with this and get it sitting where we'd like it to be. So I'm going to actually tuck it under those pineapples and pull it down just a tiny bit. There we go. And actually, I think I'm going to move it over. So you can also move it because we haven't glued it or anything. So we can just bend our card a bit and move it over. There we go. So tuck that under my pineapples. Open that up. There we go. So that's where I would like my ribbon to sit. And now this whole piece can actually get adhered to our card front. Now, before I do that, oh, good morning, Debbie. Before I do that, I'm just going to get our sentiment on here to make sure that this isn't going to be in the way of our sentiment. And the sentiment we're using is actually my new favorite sentiment pack. It's the Amazing Thanks dies. These things are amazing. So we've got the word thanks, amazing, and then you are. So you are amazing and thanks. And then we have outlines for them. We're going to actually use thanks, and we're going to use both the word and the outline today. So I'm going to grab my mini boss here, bring this in, and I have got some pale papaya that that I'm going to use for my outline. I'm just going to pop my outline thanks onto my pale papaya and run this one through. And then before we do our other word, I'm going to show you the best product in our entire catalog. All right. There we go. So I've got that one cut. I can put it to the side and use it for something else. Scrape these bits off. Now, I'm going to move this mini boss out of the way and show you guys what I want to use today. We have got, now. Let's see. There we go. So I have so many packs of these, and I'm looking for one that has just small bits in it. We have got adhesive sheets. Now these actually come in, I think it's about 6.5 inches. Well, it says 6 by 12, but I think it's actually usually a bit bigger than 6. So 6 by 12 sheets. And then I even saved my little scraps because they're perfect for projects like this. I'm going to take my adhesive and trim it so it's just a little bit smaller than my cardstock. There we go. And this is double-sided tape. This is basically our way of being able to make stickers. And I am going to peel one side off. Now this is admittedly not always the easiest thing to do. All right. When you have the full 12 or 6 by 12 sheet, they do have some lines in there that helps you. But because this is a scrap, I just had to go for the edges. All right, so now that that's on there, I'm going to take my thanks, and you can see that it does really just, it covers the whole thing. And if it doesn't get the very tips, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put this die on here and run this through my mini boss, and we're going to have our adhesive backing on it. So it is really, truly going to be a lifesaver for making this card. You can adhere these with mini glue dots. The spaces where the sentiment gets thick are big enough that you could use mini glue dots, or you could put a bead of liquid glue and adhere this. But having the adhesive backing just is such a lifesaver. So now that we've got that, pull that off. Now it is a little bit thicker, so it's actually stuck in my die. That's the first time I've actually had that happen with this set. So I just used a paper piercer to pop that out. And then I'll just clean up my die, pop out the extras in here. There we go. Get it all. Oops, a whole bunch are stuck in there. Doesn't really matter for right now, but the next time I go to use it, they'll be in the way. So I'll take the time and to remove those. Excellent. Okay, so that is our thanks created. Now we're going to layer this onto our pale papaya, and I'm going to do that by just taking that backing off. Oops. A little bit slow so you don't rip your sentiment. Come on. There we go. Now to adhere this and get it all nice and straight, I like to start at the T, and I worry more about the body of the T than the arm of the T. There we go. And I kind of just go one letter at a time, lining it up. It's quite flexy, so between the letters I can squish it around and make sure it goes where I want it. There we go. And now our K. And finally the S. And so you can see why having the adhesive on the back makes that job so much easier than if you're trying to work with liquid glue. There we go. So we've got that all done. Oh, good morning, Shirley. Good morning, Lynn. Yes, the adhesive sheets make life so much easier, Jacqueline. You are absolutely right about that. So now before I glue this down, I just want to make sure, oh, I was right, that thanks isn't going to quite fit with that bow where it is. I need to move the bow over just a tiny bit. So maybe I will move it down a bit. There we go. I'm going to have to move it all the way over to the other side of that pineapple so that I can still tuck this underneath. There we go. So I have my bow all the way over there. That's okay. So now this can go down and my thanks can fit in nicely there. I actually wonder, I could pull it down though. You know what? I think I will pull it down. I won't have the pineapple sitting right on it because I really did want this tucked up against the side of the T on my thanks. Oops. Oh, now my whole thing came off. That's okay. That'll actually make it easier for positioning. There we go. So I'm going to just scoot that around until I think that's about where my T will be. No, a little bit further over. So there we go. That's going to work. And then I'll pull it down a bit lower. And I do really want this positioned well before I glue this down, because once it's glued down, it's going to be very hard to move this around. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to actually put some adhesive onto my thanks, and I'm going to use mini dimensionals. Oh, good morning, Christina. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these mini dimensionals in the top and bottom of my H, because those are going to fall between the two pineapples. And then I'm going to put one on my K and my S, because those are also not going to overlap on my pineapples. So you can see there's like that larger chunk in the center of the K and the S. So these don't need a ton of adhesive. We've got both ends covered. And now this can get attached. All right. Oh, I know. I thought about stamping a bunch. I think we have it right now in our December paper pumpkin. But I decided to avoid the pun on this card. It was hard. It was a hard decision. All right. So there we go. Actually, I'm still going to overlap that over top. All right. So there's our thanks on there. And now this card's going to get mostly glued down to our card front, but I know because of this twine, it's not going to glue nicely right at the bottom. So I'm going to actually grab some Seal Plus for this part, because I know that it will grab more strongly. And actually, as long as I've got the Seal Plus out, I might as well use it for the whole thing. I don't normally use Seal Plus to attach these because I can't line them up very well, but if I'm using some, I might as well use them. All right, and then I'm just going to have to be extra careful lining this one up. There we go. That looks straight. Okay, and then there. Now we just need to add some embellishments to this, and my favorite embellishment right now are the Iridescent Rhinestones. So where are they? They're my favorite, which means there we go, which means they're on my desk, not even put away where they belong. There. So these guys are just so fun because they've got all the shades of like yellow, pinks, greens. It depends on the angle that you see them at as to what's kind of going to show through. So I'm not going to go too crazy on this. I think I'm just going to do 3. And I'm just going to pop in here. You could use your take a pick tool. I just happen to have my paper piercer on my desk. So same thing. There we go. And another one over here. And that's all I'm going to add to this one. Oh, I just lost one. Let's pick that back up. All right. So I'm going to just set those to the side because I'm going to use them again. Oh, your kitty cats are funny, Jacqueline. All right, so that is our first card created using the free Celebration set that you can earn when you purchase your cardstock, this amazing thanks die set, and some twine, and you're good to go. In fact, I think if you were to need everything, including like adhesives and stuff, you'd probably be getting close to the 120 mark and be able to get a second Celebration item. But I didn't want to show you guys just one card that you could get, you know, all the stuff for and create with. So using the exact same products, I actually have a second card ready to go for you guys. And so we're using the same card base. It's that Coastal Cabana again. So when you cut that piece of paper in half to make your first card, you've got the second card base all there ready to go. Oh, and I forgot, I do have the extra piece of white to glue onto the inside. It just kind of makes a nice finish to your card. So I'm actually going to just glue this one into our first card. That way you have a nice space to write in. There we go. So we'll glue that one in. So we have a nice white border. And this one as well, we're going to glue this straight into our card and just get it out of the way. All right. So same card base, and now you've used up one full sheet of Whisper White or Basic White as well to do the card fronts and the two insides. So we've got that. And then with our last piece of white, that fourth white that you'd get out of a single sheet, we're going to do some stamping on here. And again, we're going to, oh, sorry, there's my thing. Oh, thank you, Maureen. We're going to use our Just Jade again. Now I had a scrap paper around here because for this one, we're going to, oh, thanks, Heather. Have a great day. I know Mexico would be awesome. All right, so I'm going to use my Just Jade, and this time I'm going to use that large leaf pattern from our Island Vibes stamp set. There we go. So I'm just tapping my Just Jade onto that leaf. And what I love about this is it does all the shading and everything for you. Now with this one, I'm just going to pop in here and kind of line it up. I want it to go just a tiny bit off my paper. If it doesn't, it's okay because I can just trim up like that one end. See there, I just missed it a bit. So I can just grab my paper trimmer and trim that off because the card we're creating is pretty forgiving in terms of dimensions. You don't have to be exact. So there we go. I just trimmed that up so we didn't have that little white border. So now this piece is going to get glued directly down to our card front, and we just have those gorgeous leaves in the bottom corner. So yeah, you guessed it, Jacqueline, the leaves. They're too pretty not to use. Okay, and I'm going to skip the twine on this one. It just doesn't seem to work with the leaves. It just, I don't want to cut off that beautiful image. I want to leave it clean and clear. So we're just going to glue this straight down. There we go. And with that done, I'm going to grab my Calypso Coral again. And this time, instead of doing the thanks, I should put a lid on that. Instead of doing the thanks, I'm going to do the You Are Amazing. And so we'll do that. And I'm not going to layer it up this time. So I'm just going to run through the words. So I've got amazing, and let's grab the U, I think will fit in there. There we go. Let's see what I can use up of the adhesive that I've got. And then I'll do the R the way you guys can do it if you don't have the adhesive sheets. And then you'll see, it's not hard. It's just not as easy as adhesive sheets. So I've got the amazing and the U that have my adhesive sheets. Oh, where did I put that paper cursor? There we go. And then I'm just going to run this through once more. And I'm going to use the word R. So this one won't have any adhesive on it, but that's okay. It's a small word, and it gives me a chance to show you your options if you don't already have adhesive sheets. Oops. There we go. Squeeze that into the spaces. All right. There we go. this out of my way, and let's get attaching these words to our card front. So I'm just going to start by kind of laying these where I think I want them, just to see placement. I think I'm going to go with a big diagonal across my card. So you are amazing. And then I'll put in some rhinestones. Actually, maybe not. Don't quite love that. Maybe you are amazing. Yeah, I like that more. Okay, move it up a little bit. So this is where it's nice to be able to just kind of play around and place things before taking the adhesive backing off. And yeah, so I think that will work well. So I'm going to place my amazing first, just because it's my largest word and will make the biggest difference. So I'll start peeling this backing off. And again, just remember to go slow so that you don't tear anything. But we'll have a lot of ability to maneuver this as we lay it down on our card front. Okay, it's nice because you could even make these words like into an arch or something if you wanted. Okay, just about done. There. Okay, so starting, I think I might actually start at the end just because I know I want my word to end over here. So there's my G. And I want to make sure that my Z and my G kind of are on the same line. Okay, that's all sticking to me. There we go. And now that looks like it's straight, and then my A will finish up nicely. There we go. So by starting at the end, I ensured that my word didn't end up going off my card. And now I'm going to do my U, because then I can line up the Y where I want it in relation to the A in amazing, because I do want it in front of the A. There we go. And then last but not least, we have our R, and it does have a little bit of adhesive on it. Too funny. I've got to peel them all off separately though, because I just caught the edge. Actually, I'm not even, maybe I will bother. And the last one, I'm not going to bother with that tiny bit in the corner, but this still isn't going to be enough adhesive. So I am going to show you how I would just grab, it is very satisfying to pull it off, Christina. Just grab a mini glue dot, and in these larger spaces in the letters is where I would adhere those. Okay, so, and if it's a little bit too large for the space, like here on the E, that might be a little bit too big. As I peel the backing off, I can just kind of curve the mini glue dot in, like roll it in on the edges, because it has nothing to stick to. It'll roll in nicely, and get it so that it's not visible outside of our word. Okay, so now I will pick that up and place it where I would like it. Come on. There we go. And then that sticks down nicely. Now, if you're doing this with the mini glue dots and like the tip of your E is sticking up and you don't like that, or here the tip of the Y is sticking up and you don't like that, now is where you can come in with your glue and just do the tiniest little dot of glue, and then even just spread it with that little tip and hold it down. I usually do a count of 5 when I'm doing this, just to make sure that it actually sticks. So there you go. That is our You Are Amazing. And now, of course, it would not be a complete card without some embellishments. So I'm thinking definitely we need some up here. I'd even go with some of our larger ones. There we go. large and a medium up here. Oh, come on. There we go. And then maybe a few small ones everywhere else. So pop one down here. And actually, I'm going to stop with the 3. Let's not go crazy today. That is our second card using the exact same products, just that Coastal Cabana cardstock, basic white cardstock, Calypso Coral cardstock, Iridescent Rhinestones, and of course the Island Vibes stamp set. So that is what I have for you guys today. 2 pretty quick, easy to make stamps. And of course, if you don't have these dies, you could just stamp sentiments there as well. But the dies are a great product to grab, and then you can get your Island Vibes as your celebration reward. So before I switch my screen, I have one more thing that I wanted to share with you. The deadline to get in for my upcoming Abstract Beauty Stamp Camp, Mega Stamp Camp, is coming up if you want to do the version without the dies and stamp set. You have until the 20th if you want to order the whole suite to get the Stamp Camp for free. But I wanted to show you just 3 of my more recent creations using the Abstract Beauty Suite. Oh, you're welcome, Shannon. Thank you, Lila. So this is one of the cards that I created using the Abstract Beauty Suite. So this is the designer series paper, some of the embellishments from the embellishments kit, and then the stamped image from the stamp set, the resin hexagons that are the embellishment in there, and then I used the dies, the beautiful shapes dies, to cut out these awesome hexagons. So that's one of them. This one I just created with scraps on my desk and some extra pieces from the Expressions in Ink ephemera kit. And so that's what these very thin gold pieces are. But then these were cut using those beautiful shapes dies, using the designer series paper, and again the stamp from there. And then another one with the dies. I love that this circle has the embossed line. That's like all part of it. Some different stamps used for this one from the same set, and then more of that awesome designer series paper in the suite. So using my link tree, you can see everything to do with that Abstract Beauty Stamp Camp as well. You guys are going to love the cards that have been created. They are just really, really beautiful. And those beautiful shapes dies, what a hidden gem in our catalog. Like, they are not highlighted nearly enough for what they are. They are just such amazing dies. So thank you so much for joining me. I will be back on my regular Wednesday morning. So Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. I do a regular Facebook Live. And so I'll be back on Wednesday with that. And then hopefully, kids permitting, hopefully every Sunday until February 27th, I will be doing kind of this bonus celebration live video. And then on the 15th, I have my catalog launch that you'll be able to see here on this page as well. That'll be on Saturday the 15th. So thanks so much for joining me. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, a relaxing Sunday, and I'll see you all on Wednesday. Bye.